Run story, Pete. Seth gave me the note Lisa had wrote Vanessa, and I flipped because I could not freaking believe what she put. I had rope hid in my locker, and I tied it to the pipe under the sink and climbed out the bathroom window. I wasn't trying on purpose to bust it, and it sucks about it flooding and leaking into the gym. So I walked on the tracks till I got to Scarborough and hitched a ride for a while on a tractor with some farmer dude. When I got home, Rick and me went out riding. So we went driving around in Dad's Kia, and we were shooting these shiny lawn globes stupid people have in their yards. You know the dumbass things I'm talking about? Some are blue, silver, red. We took turns with pellets in Rick's 10 pump. Some shattered real cool when you hit it right. It was starting to get dark. We got 15 or 16 before we were pulled over by the cops. Rick had been drinking Dad's beers, and it showed up in the breathalyzer test. They were Miller Genuine Drafts, but I didn't have any. Uncle Nick bailed us out. We weren't about to call Dad because Rick didn't ask about the car or the beers. Plus, I was on a run. I had Nick bring me back here because nothing you can do is anywhere close as bad as what Dad would have done. Everyone knows it's a total sucky accident with the sink, and there's no way I'm going to pay for that. I would mop it up if any was left. Anyways, when you read this, you can see for yourself it's Lisa and Vanessa's fault. Also, Kyle, it really pisses me off when you're always giving me warnings and timeouts for suck. There's nothing wrong with suck. Suck, 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 suck. It's not a swear, it's just a goddamn word. Seth. Everyone knows if your swings stay at the same height for more than 4 seconds, you're married. Some kids say, "You're in my bathtub." And some grown-ups dramatize you just because they can, like my bio dad. Some kids say they like the werewolves, but technically they actually love the vampires. You know how the smell when a vacuum cleaner eats its own cord? For some kids, that's what they'd call deodorant. Meds makes everything that comes out their bodies stink, especially sweat. Some kids have a hygiene program, which means they piss and shit themselves on purpose. Some kids give themselves tribe tattoos up their arms with broken pieces of mirror. When a kid has a hard time and acts up, and then a bunch of other kids have hard times and act out, is called contagion effect. Technically, if you don't shout "fag" out the car window, you might love it up the tailpipe yourself. The cure is friends pouring cans of beer on you. Staff doing the first couple of problems for you is hurdle help. If you don't go on a run before you're 11, you're a tool. And cooler is on a run with a girl, maybe just to the gym mat you hid in the woods behind the school. Each time I'll try it new, take her from a different angle. And we'll both smell good like Christmas and plan for when we're discharged, aren't speds, and married with no more rules. Except the woods have ghosts of dead kids haunting it. On Friday is nasty frozen fish patties. Don't eat it. Run story, Lisa. I was doing out of program time and timeout, and I got bored, so I took condoms from my pocket and blew them up like balloons. So then Jolene started being an asshole, and Kyle too, so I said, "Fuck this," and I took off. I bummed cigarettes from 6 different people in town, and I talked to this cute guy at the bus stop, and then I fell asleep for maybe an hour in that hippie coffee house on Exchange Street. I had a really whack dream, and I woke, and this creepy guy was staring at me in a totally sex psycho way. I came back to the center for a sandwich in my locker because I had no money and I was hungry. Kyle saw me, and he was being a total asshole still and a cocksucker, and I told him, and I again left, and he started following with the walkie-talkie, and he kept telling me how if I just come back, maybe I could get a home visit in 3 weeks, and I told him to fuck himself and pretty names like that. I guess I want to die. I could have handled it differently by not running and not saying inappropriate names to staff. Also, not smoking cigarettes or blowing up condoms. Harmony House log. Robert had many time-out thinking errors and bumps in the road. Hard time accepting calls during Foursquare, especially when Seth got him out. Robert had feelings around Seth possibly kicking him under the table at dinner and the consequences. Refused homework. Refused check-in or diary cards. Admitted to hiding wet sheets in his closet at curfew. Denies smearing in the upstairs bathroom. Maximum amount of room time. 2 tickets for hygiene program. Still didn't finish run resolve for Monday. Ripped head off stuffed zebra. Sam, good night. Landon, pretty good night. Needed minor redirections. Tim, good night, no problems. Seth, dominated at Foursquare, overreacted when Robert accused him of seemingly kicking under the table, earned a bench, pretended to do homework, said it was okay to pretend because it was creative writing, which means using imaginations. Also pretended to do resolve work so he could go on off grounds to Walmart. Kept asking if staff would hug him and pray with him. Limits had to be set. Lisa, diary card 1. The bottom line is everyone is always alone. You feel less alone sometimes, but it's just that. More dumbass feelings. When people act like they're all concerned and caring, they're just watching themselves do it in a mirror and thinking, would you look at me? I'm such a nice and caring person. I deserve to go to heaven. But at least some people you have more in common with, or is real more of the time. Like Pete. Some people you like being with and you can have fun. You can even fall in love, but that doesn't make you not alone. You just get to be alone with someone else that's cool. And as long as you're with someone you like, it might be better than just alone. But if you get stuck with someone who you can't ever be real with, become even more alone than you were when you were by yourself. And the longer you go that way, the more the real you turns into a ghost, a shell haunted by your own ghost. Run story, Pete. I was playing my expression pedal while I did my room time. It was overdrive wah on British high gain preamp presetting, which is totally sick. Ryan says you can't be playing music during room time, and he stopped my time till I unplug. I said, oh, you can just stop time. What are you, Jesus, Mohammed, or the Holy Ghost? Plus, all the kids in the house like Smoke on the Water, and Ramon even said in house meeting my guitar helps him focus on homework. And Iron Man also is one of my coping skills for bad feelings. Everyone knows the real reason is Ryan likes the super cheesy country jams with gun racks and mud flaps. Then he says staff will have to take my expression pedal, which, okay, now he's staff, like some made-up idea because he hates Ozzy is now a rule all the staff agreed on, which is what made me break my expression pedal and Rick's guitar, which is why Ryan should pay for it. And he triggers me by always enforcing my interaction restriction with Lisa. I got to Hannaford's and I was eating the free samples, way better than at Shaw's. They had this one cheese that was like Abe's old sweat socks. I probably had 10 of those, which is not stealing because they were for free. Only the deli dude is calling on the plug-in walkie-talkie, so I went to Walmart. My dad's shift was almost over, and I told him we were there on an off-grounds trip. So he says, don't get in any trouble, and we can go to Six Flags Saturday. But we didn't. He always lies about every single thing he says ever. Then I walked back to the center. I could have handled it different by Ryan not being a dick. Seth, homework assignment. My biggest hero, Biggie Bills, his songs can make miracles happen. His real name, William, is famous hip-hop dancer plus singer with the most swag. Even he being white gets respect from most black rappers, except Dr. Dre. His family was rich, but you can tell by his music he hung out plus growed up a lot on the streets. I made him a hero because his brand of clothes is sick and his music is the best. My favorites are #Homeboys and Chains Gang. Popularity was fast, but he made the big mistake that hurt his career at first. He beat on his girlfriend, the singer Danisha, beat her up bad, and she put a bunch of restraining orders on Biggie. What he did to her was wrong in many ways, but Biggie Bills showed the whole world he can change. He won back even more fans than before when he wrote a love song for Danisha called My Sexy Angel on her birthday. It was the first MP3 to go straight to #1 for download sales. Since then, no looking back for Biggie Bills. Janelle. This is not another one of my excuses. I have a wicked hard time comprehending my whole life, and I feel like in a way you're putting pressure on me, making me take this test, quiz, whatever. But I tried very hard to think, answer each question, and I just can't answer it. Try so hard, and I get so mad because it's like my brain is busted. And some days so mad I bust things like your Globe Theater or act out, make fun of Tammy or fight with Lisa and Vanessa to show how it feels in my bust-up brain fog. Believe me, I feel ashamed of my comprehension problems. It's very embarrassing and upsetting to talk about, especially with my teachers. So yes, to not be so ashamed, I looked at Tammy's test once or twice. I also feel that this was way above what my level is, and I hope you're not mad at me. And that's also why always in class when you ask me what's going on and I don't know, and then you say I haven't been paying attention, blah, 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 but it's not. Because it's not I wasn't paying you attention, it's because of my stupid comprehension problem. It also takes effect towards the fact that I had a learning disability, and it has to refer to me having a problem with comprehending and remembering stuff, like all the goals inside my IEP say. And not just to blame, but some has to do with my mom and bio dad partying 24/7 when she was pregnant with me. But there are different kinds of intelligent and aspects, and I have some of the other kind, like visual. I hope you understand. Run story, Pete. I left the meeting and was taking space in the climbing structure. I was in yellow, but Jolene put me in red and said I'd collect ×3 if I didn't resolve and go back to class, which isn't in my plan. She was just trying to piss me off, which it worked. Staff here is always on purpose trying to piss me off, not like in the hospital. I went into town and nobody even followed. I bummed change and called my stepmom, who says go back to the center, and I hung up on her. I got a bag of candy and a soda in my hoodie. I looked at CDs and would have bought some, but the way they were watching me, like I was a piece of trash. I'd like to come back with a bat and school them who's trash. Then I saw a kid, Daryl, I knew from the old program, who I kind of hated sometimes, but we got along okay, and we got away with some stuff too. Staff never even knew about any of it. We were talking about the stuff we'd done and the kids we knew. Sarah, who's knocked up by some black dude in South Portland. She was hot too. Daryl had to go to some rehab thing. He said it was cool that I was on a run, and I got his number. I ate most of the candy and soda in the Cumbies parking lot. I tried bumming cash for a bus ticket, but people only gave me cigarettes and change. I got enough for a slice, and I was starting to feel real weird without meds, which by now I refused my 8 o'clocks and my noons, and I missed my 5 o'clocks. I was hyper but tired and had a sick belly. I slept on a bench in the park, but it rained again. Wet and sick and wicked headache, so I came back. Next time, I could just pretend I explode up everyone's head in the meeting with my mind. Boom! Splatter! As a coping skill to chill my anger. Run story, Robert. Linda had us do watercolors in art, and everybody knows that always brings up my freaking issues. She said, pretend a rainbow is shining, that you're at the end and its light is in your body. The red is in your forehead and the blue in your belly and the yellow in your heart and the purple someplace I don't know where. So that's when I threw the cup at her. But the coffee wasn't even hot anymore. I went behind the school and ripped the tarp off the wigwam, like Indians even used tarps back then. And I started knocking the sticks out the sides. Then Joe and Kyle say, do I want to be escorted or restrained? And my gay therapist, Sharon, is coming to talk to me. I never told her nothing, so am I really going to be starting now? Then Kyle says something about cops, which, is that supposed to help me calm down? I went in the woods and they were following, but I hid behind a bush. Ha ha. Then I got to the road and walked till the old guy gave me a ride to Westbrook. I said I missed the school bus. I stayed at Tim's mom's house, but in the basement when she was at home, so she didn't know. It was okay for a few days. I played every game on his 360 and PlayStation and Game Boy when he was at school, and I beat all his high scores, which pissed him off, and that's when he told his mom. Also, he kept getting in trouble because I ate the Pop-Tarts and chips and hot dogs and Cocoa Puffs. I was supposed to starve to death? I barricaded the door to the basement with a couch and lots of heavy stuff, and the cops came, and I moved it. Because watercolors was what I was doing when they came to tell me about my mom. Robert's poem. Zoloft was a tuxedo cat named because she made me happy. Other times, if he didn't pet or give her enough, she peed the rug. Lazy cat slept more than anyone, and she could sleep anywhere. Only it's funny when she tortured mice and birds. Furry with really long whiskers and bushy tail. Today is her birthday, except she's dead. But she will always live in my subconscious. Goodbye, Zoloft. You were my best friend. Lisa, diary card 3. Ben kept putting me in red. He lost his shit with me because I don't get his fucking homework, and I lost my shit right back at him. And when I came back, he was being even more of an asshole than I thought he was capable of, so I blew out and took an oop ticket. I took space in the backfield, and I just lay down looking at the sky. There were so many clouds, and they were the craziest shapes. Then the big one right above me becomes just like my Pop-Pop. I know people always say that shit like Virgin Mary and their smashed potatoes, but this was a perfect silhouette even his exact double chin and bushy eyebrows. Plus the other clouds kept morphing into other things, but he just stayed there above me, and it seemed he was smiling down till my time was up. It was so fucking surreal, but comforting at the same time. I don't believe in heaven where dead people watch us and all that crap, but this for reals made me doubt it. Pop-Pop was the one who stepped up since my mom was always a shake and bake flake job, and no point even talking about my bio dad. If anyone ever loved me, it was Pop-Pop. He was the closest to a real parent I ever had, and I would still be living with him instead of here if he didn't have another big stroke and go into a coma. Eventually, my mom said switch him off. Anyhow, even if it was just a dumb cloud full of rain, I actually think I found a new skill. Even if I never see him again, I would rather lie in the grass and look for Pop-Pop's cloud than lie in therapy sessions and say what you want to hear. Robert, resolve work. To Seth, I am sorry for pulling your hair and kicking and scratching you and trying to stab you with the pencil even though it was not sharp, and crumpling your second best magic card. I did it because I was mad. I should have not have done it because it was wrong. In fact, it was mean. I'm sorry I made you feel really upset and hurt. Next time I will try to stop myself. I'm sorry because what I did was wrong. Pete, speech at leaving ceremony. Can't believe I'm finally up here. It's been 6 years and 9 months almost. I complained about every one of them too. But now I have to admit I will really miss this place and most of you, especially the kids. I've been wanting to go so long, but the last few days doesn't feel the way I thought. I want to thank Lisa and also the Concord guys, mostly Ramon, who I knew from before at the retreat, for helping me through some times. Also staff like Mark. Jolene and Rita were cool too, when you wanted to be, JK. Some staff I won't thank, and you know who you are too. I had bumps in the road and internal confliction. I used to say, I eat warnings, so give me another one. Or, I'll flip over a whole tree before I turn over a new leaf. To all the kids, I say that if you work hard and man up, you will be sitting up here before you know it. This place feels like it sucks, which it does mostly, like the rules, but some staff are okay. Strangers can become family more than your blood. Last is sorry this gym got flooded that time, but it just shows everything is a learning experience. You start tangled, but by the middle fold you find the twist. My time here was very impactful and still will be when I'm an old man farting into his oatmeal. And Lisa, we can have supervised visits at the mall if your outreach worker comes with us. Also, Seth, remember when we found the pregnant rabbit under the back steps of Harmony and were sneaking at carrots and then it had babies? That was pretty cool. Robert, memo to Hannah and Tom. Oliver the therapy dog doesn't help my depression or issues at all. Mostly Oliver is lazy and dumb and just wants treats. And he doesn't even live at the center, so kids can't get therapy most when they need it the most. The center needs a therapy cat. In fact, each house could have their own cat. Cats are much more better than dogs because their purrs erase the human sadness. Cats know more DBT and mindfulness skills because they meditate half the time, which gives them wise minds like owls. Also, cats are nocturnal, so they can give hope and comfort to kids like me that have insomnia. Plus, dogs roll in crap and dead animals and smell nasty, and the bark is scary for the littler kids. Cats have their own way of cleaning themselves, and the top of their heads is a kind of aromatherapy. And the therapy cat at Concord House could be named Zoloft Jr.